Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, think about subscribing. There's going to be several videos of this barn build. It is going to take probably about 20 videos worth to show the whole build from start to finish. The concrete work and the dirt work was done by Armstrong Concrete, but everything else structure-wise, my wife and I did. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to stop and try to give you tips and tricks along the way, but you're going to need more than that to build a barn on your own. So don't think that we're going to teach you the entire way to do it. You need to do a lot of research on your own before building your own structure. So I hope you enjoyed the videos, and if you haven't already, hit that like button.
If you like our video, press the like button. And you can even share it with your friends. And if you have any questions, comment down below. And if you like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Finally. Adios. Adios.
I forgot to explain to you guys how we came up with the design for our barn. My actual job, my normal job for the Army, is a construction engineer. So we build stuff all over the world. We actually have a crew, the surveyors generally make all of our plans for us, which is really convenient because then all I have to do is go out there and everybody's on the same page. Well, at home I'm not gonna mess with drawing this up on a program called AutoCAD. I just drew it out on paper. And how I did it was, graph paper would be much easier, but I didn't have any graph paper. So I took this ruler, I used the centimeter side, and that centimeter side, basically every millimeter equals 1 foot. So it comes out right here all the way to 140 feet. This, let me get something to point with. Okay, so this right here is the opening for the door on the side of the barn. There's one on the exact same, on the opposite side in the exact same place. So everything is symmetrical. So what I do on one side of the barn, I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So I only need to draw out one wall, and basically they'll both, the east or west wall makes no difference, it's the exact same. You can see that I've spaced out, these are all made of, the walls are all going to be made of 2x6s, and they're going to be spaced out 5 foot on center. The bottom 2x6 right here will be it'll still be a 2x6, but it'll be treated. And there'll be 2x6x20s all the way down, obviously altering the joints with the top. The top is also going to be 2x6x20s, but they're not going to be treated. What'll happen is I'll cut the top ones, and I'll cut one, the first one I'll cut it in half, so we'll do a 10 foot, and then from there on it'll be 20 foot 2x6s, and then I'll take the other 10 foot and put on this end. This offsets my seams at the bottom. So basically if I laid out a 20 foot 2x4 or 2x6, right, if it ends, so 5, 10, 15, 20, so if it ended right here, if I had my other one end right here, I'd have two seams right next to each other. I don't want that. That takes away from structural integrity. Even though on the top is going to have a double top plate. So basically it'll have a 2x6x20, and then I'll have another 2x6x20 on top of it. That 2x6x20 on top of it, no matter what, I don't want my seam from down here to match either one of the seams on the top plates. So I want them to be offset somehow. Once we get down here, this is where the step in our wall is. So there'll be two 2x6x10s, or there'll be a 2x6x10 right here, and there'll be a 2x6x12 right here. They're gonna end up being screwed together, and that'll connect these two walls. And then down here is the header. The header on the door is going to be made of 2x8s, and they'll be sandwiched together with a, so I'll have 3 of them basically. So 2 of them will be sandwiched together, and then I'll have another one behind it that's laminated on top of it, or behind it. You'll see on the build. On the corners, I will show you, it's going to be easier to show you than to explain on paper how they're connected. This is our 40-foot wall at the end. Now it'll go straight across because the truss will actually come up like this. So that's where the peak will be. But this is the exact same 2x6. These will be 2x6x12s because they have to match this end of the wall so that they're all the same height. Remember, the step down on top of the concrete is all the same height. It's level, and we want it to be like that so we can keep the top of the barn level. These are the walls that we're talking about. These are known as stem walls or curbs. Anyways, if you look at it, right, up here, it starts 6 inches and it keeps the same height all the way down. Even though the wall itself is getting longer, it keeps the top of it level. This is 2x6x12s, and there'll be 5 foot on center. Same concept on the bottom, 2x6x20 treated, 2x6x20 not treated on top, and altered seams so that they're not lined up on each other for structural integrity. And then I'll explain the corners, how they're going to tie to the other one. Now, this, believe it or not, is not as silly as it looks. So I'll show you right here. So again, on all of my drawings right here, every millimeter equals 1 foot. Oops, try to line this up. It's close. You kind of get the point, I guess, from it. But so right here, the lines going vertical right here are actually the trusses. This is an overhead view, as if I was looking straight down at the barn from, you know, God's perspective, looking straight down at it. This is the trusses from overhead, and then the lines that are running horizontal are all of my purlings. The purlings are for the metal to be attached to, so the metal roofing, and then also we have plastic Skyview panels, the clear plastic to let light in too. It'll make it better for the animals, and then we don't have to run lights all day in the winter time when they're in there. Now, these, right, are 5 or 10 foot on center. All the trusses are. What's not quite visible as easily here is down the center. This is the exact center of the trusses, and there's a ridge cap that'll run down there. So I've got my 2x4x20s that I'm using for purlings start, and they run this way. Now, same thing, right? Basically, I'll start out, so I'll have a seam here, and then I'll have a seam here, and then I'll have a seam here, right? And then, oops, I'll have, basically what I'm trying to say is, you'll see it on the build, we'll record it and show you, but basically I don't want any of my seams to line up, or I want as few of them as possible to line up. Now, several of them are going to have to line up because there's not enough tie down, or not tie downs. There's not enough points where I'm going to be able to alter them to where I'd never have a seam line up on one truss. There's going to be multiple on them, but there's also multiple going across, so there's still going to be lots of strength there. And that's pretty much it on that. And then coming from the walls up to the trusses, we will have a couple of 2x4s that go up just to provide a little bit of structural integrity. You'll see it in the build. It's not really something I can draw on here. I guess it could. So basically, if this is if this is a wall, right, and this is a truss going across, not drawn to scale, obviously, there's going to be a 2x4 that runs from here to here and from here to here to, like I said, to add a little bit of structural integrity for wind. The end of this barn, so including the concrete, so you got 4 foot below it for concrete, and then 7 foot above it to the peak of the roof. So overall, you're going to have, that's 19 feet just in lumber, so it's 23 feet tall. It's going to be very tall. It's going to catch a lot of wind, so we want to make sure it's as strong as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the plans. I'll show you the concrete real quick before we start building and explain the step process, and that'll be it for that part, and then you'll start seeing the videos of us putting it together. She's mowing all by herself. So I got Chrissy started. She's mowing. This is her first time mowing with the tractor. She had a zero turn before this. She really liked the zero turn, but the tractor is far more convenient, especially during the winter time, unrolling bales and stuff like that. But before I got her started, I used the scoop, or the bucket on the tractor, scooped all this dirt up here. This part was real quick, basically scooped from that pile, dumped by the foundation. Scooped it up there, covered it up. I want to cover the slab, so you can see where at the bottom of this wall, there's the slab that comes out. It's about 6-ish inches thick, a little thicker than that in some spots. but I want that to be covered from the exterior. So we're using the gravel to do that. Gravel will go around from basically from this slab, or apron rather, all the way around to that apron, and then all the way up that side, because that side is all graveled anyhow, because we're gonna put our hay over there, so I don't want any mud over there. This spot we put extra gravel in because I want to be able to drive off. So like that side's mud, but I want to be able to drive off in any direction. Cut it out. I want to be able to drive off it in any direction and be able, and you know, be a smooth transition basically. Did the same thing over here. Show you that real quick. So same thing, dump some extra gravel. I'm gonna smooth it down with the rake and the shovel. And then this is all graveled right here because this is where we'll set our head chute. So I wanted it to be a good foundation for that, so it's not a big mud pit. Same thing right here where we're going to be walking when we're doing any work with the animals. We don't have to stand in the mud. And then basically this gate will actually be up, and whenever we're doing our work with the head chute, if we're keeping them, we'll push them out to this paddock. If we're going to take them to the sale barn, we'll push them straight in here to the barn. And then if for whatever reason there's somewhere else that they need to be separated to, we can push them back this way too. So we could do 3 groups basically. We could do lambing paddock, we could do back into the barnyard, or we could do into the barn, because there'll be a gate on both sides where you can keep animals in or out. All right, time lapse. Just realized I didn't show you exactly what I was talking about with the slab. So you can see right here, this is the very bottom of the slab right there. We want to protect this as much as we can from elements like water and stuff getting their way down there and getting under the pad. Because if water gets under there and then freezes over the winter, it'll push up on it. Now, you might say, hey Travis, that's a lot of weight for the water to push. Well, the thing is, water doesn't compress. So no matter how much pressure you put on top of water, it will never get smaller than what the water molecule is. Therefore, it has to, basically the water will not give. The foundation would give before that water. Well, anyways, by covering the side like that, it makes it to where it's harder for water to get under there, and it makes it to where it's less likely for water to be under there. Same thing on that side, especially on these sides right here, because this is going downhill, so water could actually start coming down here, and then see how we have a rut there? It could push under. We don't want that to happen. So that's why we're doing this. All right, we got about half of this side done. I need the tractor, but Chrissy's still mowing. As you can see in the background, hopefully you can see it. All those dark clouds, that's hurricane, or tropical storm now, I guess. Cristobal. We're trying to get all this stuff done before that rain hits, because originally they were saying we're gonna get like 5 inches of rain. Now they're saying somewhere around 2 inches. Honestly, who knows? We just wanna have it to where if we do get 5 inches, it's not gonna cause any damage to what we've already got going. The other thing is that all my building materials should be showing up tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Or no, my bad. The day after that. So it should be showing up Wednesday. Today's Monday. So we'll get all that done, get as much as we can prepped. And Chris is gonna finish mowing. I'll scoop a couple more scoops in the back of the side-by-side here. I'll finish up this side. The reason I'm not using the tractor, there's actually 2 reasons. 1, Chris has got to mow before the storm gets here. 2, the tractor won't fit down this alleyway and be able to go sideways to scoop everything in. So on that side it worked very well, but this side not so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go weed eat real quick while I'm waiting for her to finish mowing. All right, so now you're probably wondering, hey, why do I have all this gravel stacked up a little bit higher than the concrete? Well, it's just simply because it's gonna get packed down. It's only 1 inch or so, maybe 2 inches higher. This was originally about 3 or 4 inches higher, but this was actually all dirt. I'm sure you've probably heard of people reference a sheep's foot or an elephant's foot, sheep foot, elephant foot, same concept. For the weight that their body is, they have a very tiny footprint. So like I guess a sheep's footprint is probably about like that. Maybe a little bit bigger. But anyways, for the amount of their body weight, it packs down very well. So, all right, I'm gonna go weed eat now, for real. Well, look at that. Chrissy mowed the yard with the tractor for the first time. She used to have a 0 turn like we talked about. She didn't hit nothing, or at least nothing's on fire from it. All right, we're real close to finishing. I'll have to get some more rock. I'm not gonna beat the storm coming in, unfortunately. It's gonna be here and dinner's ready. So by the time we get done eating dinner, it'll be here. But since this is all graveled right here, even if it rains 5 inches, this will all still be drivable. I'll be able to come back and finish this. So minor delay, but be all right. Materials will be here on Wednesday. Well, the wall materials will be here on Wednesday. Trusses will be here Thursday. So we're well on our way.
You pump the water out.
Using what did we just make?
Pipe.
Okay, but the pipe is essentially a sprinkler. What's it connected to? Sump pump. Let's go see if it works. This is the sump pump, obviously. It's submergible. And this is a pipe that me and Gage made to put on there. I'll show you the end in a second, but you could probably see, maybe not. We cut a slit in the end of it to make it like a sprinkler, just for fun. All right, so it's working. It's gonna suck all this water out. Now, once we build our structure over this, we won't have this problem, but our lumber doesn't get here until tomorrow, so. And even then, we'll have the trusses won't be here until the day after tomorrow, and then the metal won't be here until next week for the roof, so. Might have to do this once or twice. We're gonna need this anyways whenever we get closer to, sorry, probably can't see me. We're gonna need this anyways because once we get the build done in the springtime, we're actually gonna wash the barn floor so we don't have maggots and stuff, so we'll end up with water down here anyways. So we'll have to have a way to get all this water out of here. But we'll drain our pool ever so slowly. Hey everyone, real quick. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, share this video on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever social media platform you use, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Those are the 3 biggest things you can do to help our channel grow and to support our channel. That brings me to my next thing. A lot of people have been asking about how they can support us. And while we appreciate the offer to give monetary donations, we just don't accept them. What you can do instead is, there's a link down below in the description. That link will take you to Farm Focus website that has our Freedom Farms merchandise on it. All of our apparel on there is 100% made in the USA. The shirt is made here, the decals are made here, and then they're put on the shirts all here in the United States. There's also decals on there, and shortly there'll be sweatshirts. So if you're interested in that stuff, please go check out Farm Focus website. The link is down below in the description. It'll take you straight to our shop. Thank you and enjoy the videos.